record on this computer. There we go. Let's see. We'll do that. All right, so good morning. How is everyone this morning? Excited to be here like I am? Good. Yay! I wanted to just check in before we get started. How many of you were able to do the homework from last week? Yeah? Kind of? Awesome. I saw some good posting going on in the group. I received a few texts about it as well. I just wanted to go over what that was. So it was to remember to check in with your voice before you did any of your income producing activities or anything really that you wanted to feel successful about. So you checked in with how am I feeling about myself right now. Looking, am I open? Are my arms open? Or am I crossed and folded, hunched over? Is my mind open? Am I, open to noticing what's around me and talking to people if I, come close to them or whatever? And then checking in, what's my intention? Why am I doing this anyway? Why do I want to do these income producing activities today? Am I just doing a checklist because someone told me to? Is it extra work and stress? Or is it something that I really want to do because I have an outcome that I'm going for? C, clearing. Is my space clear? Is my office clean? Is my mind clear? Is my energy clear? Am I free of doubt and false negative voices right now? I mean, that doesn't mean permanently forever because life is going to always bring us something to clear out, in my opinion. We live in a negative world sometimes, and so it's something we always have to be aware of. But right now in this moment, before I'm making my calls or before I'm doing my contacts or whatever I'm doing, is my energy clear? And then E, what does it mean to be confident? What does a confident me look like? Am I going to be that? I'm going to express that. And confident isn't the only word, but whatever it is that you're wanting to be right now. What does a leader look like? What does a recruiter look like? What does a healthy, walking, talking, isogenics user look like? And then be that, right? And it doesn't have to be, I don't have to be, a fitness model to be isogenics healthy. Just have that glow, have that smile, have that energy, that skip in my step, that positive outlook that just comes from feeling healthy. Then we had action steps of creating your ISA calendar. So how many of us did that? I'm gonna check in. How many were able to go through our calendar and organize it according to our very own lives? So marking out personal time first, blocking that, making it non-negotiable, making it very sacred. This is my time. Nobody's going to infringe on my time. And then our family time. And then our work time if we have a job outside the home that's not isogenics. And then our community time. What responsibilities do I have to my church, to my community, to my PTA, that kind of a thing. And finally, what's left over? What are my isogenics business hours? Block those out and make those also sacred. And that's isogenics time, I'm working my isogenics business and I'm doing income producing activities 80% of the time and learning about my business and developing my team and promoting my team and all of that for the rest of the 20%. Is anybody started on that? Yeah? Awesome. Okay, and it does, I'm glad that you're willing to say, yeah, I'm working on it, because I don't believe that we know right away. We have to experiment and find out what works and be willing to make adjustments. So good job. Good job for starting. All right, so that's checking in. Now I want to just switch my screen so that we can get started. My intention isn't to keep us on for an hour every time. Last time was an introduction of the whole thing. I would love to keep it between 30 and 45 minutes. If we need an hour though, whatever we need. However, I don't want to just spend time getting ready to get ready and learning. It's just a time to check in, to develop some skills, to, get new ideas. And especially my purpose is to help build your belief in yourself. Because that, I believe, like I said last time, is the foundation of strength in anything that we do, not just in building our business, but in life. So in my joy to be able to tap in more of my own value of who I am, and I am passionate about sharing it. So that's my greatest intention. The isogenics business can work right hand in hand with that. And that's the second intention. First intention, though, to me is that confidence. So here we go. Sharing my screen. So I already went through this, but remember, with every day, every time you're getting ready to start your Isagenix business hours, or anything really, that if you're feeling a little bit off or you're wanting to feel successful in any area of your life, check in with your voice. Just go through the checklist really quick. Value. How am I feeling about myself right now? Am I open? Is my body open? Is my mind open? Or am I feeling really closed and restricted in any way? Am I demonstrating that by crossing my legs, my arms, hunching over? If so, make an effort to open up. That's one of my greatest, I have to be aware of it at all times, because my natural tendency is to hunch over and close off. Fold my arms. There are times I'll have my arms folded, I'll have my legs crossed, and then I'll be like an eagle pose and have my toes wrapped behind my calf, and I'm so closed off that it's kind of funny when people notice. And what's my intention? Why am I doing what I'm going to do right now? If I'm going to start an action, why am I doing it? And get really clear on that. What's my intention? And then am I willing to act on that intention to bring it to pass? Then clearing. Is my space clear? Is my energy clear? Is my mind clear? And then expression. Am I ready to be that? Am I going to show up as I want to be? Do I want to be a leader? Then how does a leader act? Be that. Am I confident? How does a confident person act? How does a healthy person act? How does a happy person act? And just let yourself be that. So that's our voice. And remember, it's the gateway to our dream life, to whatever we have, is that being able to be this every day as often as possible is our gateway to our dream life. So we're going to start with value. So with every action step, with every 90-day action plan section, we're going to take it through the value, through the voice gateway. So we're going to start with V for value. And again, like I said, this is my greatest intention for the whole course. So last week we learned about core values. Was anybody able to do the core values worksheet? And I know that was a pre-workout, but how much pre-homework? Was anybody able to find their 5 core values? And they might change, and you might realize that there's something that's more strong for you than you thought. But is there anybody that's even started that worksheet, just by raise of hands? Awesome. How's that feeling to you? Is there anybody that wants to share how that feels, or has it been hard? Does it feel freeing? Go ahead. Sorry, I know your name, but it's blank now. So you raised your hand. Go ahead and.
Mona. Mona, I'm in Southern California. I was in Southern California, now in Washington, D.C. What's interesting about the core values is sometimes I think I have values because I think I should have those values. And when I had to really nug it down and narrow it to truly what were my 5, I was able to finally take away some values that I thought were really important because other people told me they were important, but they weren't necessarily deep down in my soul, my core, the top 5.
Nice.
Because when I got to do 20, I was like, oh, I can be all these things, and these things are all important. But then when you said, nope, you got to choose 5, that's when I could kind of start crossing out values that other people expect me to have, but maybe aren't necessarily in my heart, my top 5.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. It's exactly the point of the exercise, because, and I'm going to mute out just the background noise.
One of the guys gave me a protein drink. I couldn't drink it. It had corn syrup in it, and it had stuff that I didn't know what it was. And I'm going, this is a plastic drink with corn syrup. And it was so sweet. I could not drink it.
Wow.
So I dumped it out. Well, when you work out, after so long, your body...
I'm not sure if that was a share for us or if it was a phone call, so I muted it out. But I think that's even a value, being able to realize, the integrity of the shake and the product. But I don't think, because of the continuation, that it was meant for us to hear. So, but Mona, thank you. And I did mute everybody out, but if you want to speak, unmute yourself. But yes, just because somebody has told you that something is valuable, or maybe they even didn't tell you it's valuable, but you've noticed it in other people. I love that, because all values, if it's a value, it's positive, it's a good, it's advantageous to the world, right? And it doesn't mean that anybody else's beliefs or core values are better than yours, or that yours are better than somebody else's. It's just that those aren't your core values. Those aren't the things that you're driven by. It's awesome that Heather has these values, and it's awesome that Susan Sly has these values. And I'm happy that those are their values, because those values bless my life. But my own personal core values are the things that drive me. And if I feel like I'm having to live under somebody else's values, I'm feeling restricted. I'm feeling shoulded on, right? And I'm feeling like, that's when it turns to looking to everybody else to validate who we are. But when we know who we are and what it is that we want and that is important to us and what we stand for, then we're able to be that and add that to the world instead of feeling like we have to be somebody else that we're not. That just creates chaos. Remember those circles that were all over the place? It creates chaos because, okay, right now this person wants me to be this, but this person also wants me to be this. And right here inside of my gut, I want to be this, but I don't have time for that because I got to be all this for everyone else first. And that's impossible, really. So I love, Mona, that you shared that. And that's exactly what the process is all about, is getting clear on which values belong to your parents, which values belong to your heroes, which values belong to your kids, your friends, and which are yours. And being able to recognize and love all of them and then let yours drive you. So awesome. So that was last time. And I encourage everybody to continue to work on that worksheet until you know without a doubt what your values are and what it is that's non-negotiable for you, because those are the things that are going to get you to keep going even when it's hard. Also, our temperament type. Knowing who we are from the core, knowing what motivates us from the core, helps us to understand why our why is our why. It helps us to understand why we process things the way we do. It helps us to understand why I'm different from other people. And it helps me to be okay with that and to notice that what I have and what I'm motivated by and what my gifts are gifts, and that they're all beautiful and they're all okay. And I may have the same outward why as somebody else, but the reason that I'm doing it might be completely different. And if I'm feeling like I'm doing it just because this person says that's the best thing to do, or I just don't really know why I'm doing it, I just know that I want the outcome, then it's not ever going to really motivate me when it gets hard. So if I know that I want to be a millionaire in isagenix, but I don't know why I want to be that, then when somebody says, well, that is just a pyramid scheme, it's a waste of your time, it's taking you away from everything that's important to you, then you're going to doubt yourself. And is it taking me away from everything that's important to me? Well, what is important to you? And why is that important to you? And if being a millionaire in isagenix is in alignment with the things that are important to you, and you know why it is, then it's not going, what somebody says isn't going to take you away from that. It's going to help you to align more clearly with, this is my core value. I have all of these things that I'm good at, these things that motivate me, and they all are in total alignment with my progression toward being a millionaire in isagenix, and I'm going to do it no matter what. Does that make sense? When I really know who I am and what it is that I really want and what motivates me and what I'm good at, all of that, I can stand strong in who I am no matter what anybody else says. No matter if there's a storm going on in Florida, or, you know what I mean? All of this stuff, I can keep going even though. And that's, to me, hugely powerful. So I'm just going to go through these really quick today. I'm just going to describe them quickly. And I can sometimes get lost in it because I'm so passionate about this. This is like my favorite part of what I do. And so I'm going to do my best to not get distracted and to not try to explain it in more detail today. I'm just going to go over the surface. What I want you to do is to really listen and think about things that you do, and if these resonate you as far as your why. So then I will continue to get deeper with each call. And also, if you would like to know more what your temperament is, then I'm in the process of creating an empirically validated assessment. Right now it's not validated. It hasn't been proven to work, right? It's not going to be completely accurate yet. However, so far I found that what I have created so far has been a really great guide for people to really become clear, because when you really start to understand it, then you're like, oh yeah, that's me. So if you want that, I can send you that assessment. I'm not going to send it to everyone as a blanket just because I don't want to force anyone to do it. But if you want to know, then message me and I will send you the assessment, and then you'll send it back to me and I can score it and we can have a conversation about it. And I'll do this more deeply on different calls. Right now, first of all, I want you to realize that when I was introduced to this, every temperament type except for the one that I found out that I am, I was like, oh yeah, I could be that one. I could be that one. I am definitely not that one. And so you may kid yourself. That's what I did, because I was so caught up in hating who I was that I wasn't going to admit that those things were really me. And when I really learned to connect to the truth of who I really am, I started to see that that was a beautiful thing and it's a gift, and that if I were to lean into those, that I could actually let them become my power instead of my reason to hide. So just be aware of that. If you're having strong feelings come up about any of these temperament types, it may just be, especially if you're someone who is trying to hide from who you are, it may just resonate with you because it might be that's who you are. And that doesn't necessarily happen for everyone. Not everybody is kind of rebellious against who they are like I have been. But anyway, just notice that. So type C, it's called core temperament. It's similar to others. I like this theory a lot better, and I have my reasons why. I can explain those another time. But what you need to know about it is that temperament doesn't change. So this is who you are on a deep, like that I am part of you, that part when you close your eyes and you picture yourself, and it's not your body. It's not what someone told you you are. It's not even your heart that's beating. It's that part of you that's just there and that existed. Even if your body were to disappear, it would still be there. That part of you doesn't change. It will grow and develop and it will strengthen, but it doesn't change. And it doesn't change. Your temperament type does not change. I want you to be aware of that. And there are 4 different temperament types that people fall into. The first one is type C. It stands for comfort and connection. So that's what this person is most motivated by. A type C temperament lives in the past emotionally. That can be a negative thing. It doesn't have to be. But it's just the past is always there. And the type C is always checking with the past to predict the future and to make sense of the present and just can see the whole big picture of everything. Again, they're motivated by comfort. That's emotionally and physically and spiritually, just every way. So if you're feeling uncomfortable, you aren't quite able to be yourself. So if you were to watch a movie, for example, you'd make sure that you had a blankie and you had your popcorn popped and you were on a comfortable chair and the lighting was just right, the temperature was just so, and then you're ready to watch the movie. That's just one example. As far as emotional comfort, being able to, if you're in a large crowd and you're feeling uncomfortable, you don't feel like you belong, then you're going to find a way to be comfortable, whether that's to go hide in the corner and watch people or to go find your favorite friend and talk to that person only, because you feel comfortable with that person, or you're not going to go unless you know someone, that kind of comfort. Comfort rules the day. So you have 2 motivators. There's comfort and connection. But if you're uncomfortable, connection kind of goes by the wayside. Comfort comes first. So when you're comfortable, then you can lean into your connection. Connection is with people and ideas. Everything's connected. Everything has meaning. Everything has purpose. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't matter as much to you. So, and the ability to connect with people is at a deep level. Like you want to know everything about that person, and you want people to know everything about you. You pay high attention to detail when it comes to being comfortable. So if details aren't comfortable, like if the details of a budget aren't comfortable to you, then you kind of avoid those. But if details to making sure that if you're having a party and everybody there is happy and feeling comfortable, you make sure you have food for all different kinds of people, you make sure you have places for everyone to sit, that kind of a thing. High attention to detail when it relates to comfort. And then feel deeply. Deep emotions, you feel them deeply, you express them often, or at least I didn't. This is me. I'm a type C. I refused to feel. I wouldn't. It's because I hated it. I thought it was a weakness, so I just hid from it. When I've tapped into it, I can cry at the drop of a hat, and I've had to come okay with that. And I let people know if I cry, it's just because that's who I am. So don't worry about it. but I also can get deeply passionate about something. I can get really excited about something. I just feel really deeply. So that's a type C. A type O is somebody who lives in the now. What matters, what's most important is right now, but it's also important that right now is pleasurable, that it's fun, it's enjoyable. So positive emotion at all times. That's what's important to a type O. This person is really good at having fun and helping other people have fun. They love adventure. They love looking for the next possible thing. You know, what can I do now? And I've already been here, so now I want to go somewhere new. I don't want to go do something I've already done, that kind of a thing. They always can see potential and opportunity in everything. Like, yeah, that's possible, that's possible. They see the possibilities in everything. Like, why not? They love people and they love attention, and they're really good at helping people be seen. They notice everyone. It might not be on the deep level like a C. It's more maybe superficial. However, it's real. They love people and they love to make other people happy. They have a low tolerance for negative emotions. So if there's a negative situation, they're either going to switch it and get people to pay attention to something different that's more happy, or they're going to escape. So if there's a conflict, for example, they aren't going to stay there. They'll either change the subject or they'll disappear. Negative emotion does not work. And they're not motivated by negative consequences. So if you have a child, for example, that's a type O, and you're like, you need to clean your room or you're going to lose your phone, that's not going to work for them. It's got to be clean your room and then we can go, play. It's got to be a positive thing. Okay, type R, this person lives in the future. They're always looking toward the next goal. What's next? What's next? And they really are motivated by getting things done and that forward movement, just action. They're really into action. They have a plan, they work the plan, and they make sure they're going for it. They can actually have many things going at one time, and they're able to compartmentalize all of them, so they're aware of what's going on in everything that they have going on, and they're really good at moving forward. They show up as successful people. They're big, they're bold. People a lot of times look up to them as, wow, I want to be that person. And if that's not who you are, I feel like this kind of person can seem to be like the perfect successful person, and if I'm not that, then I won't be successful, and that's not true. This person is really good at executing a plan and getting things done. They also, though, pay low attention to detail. So if there's a corner they can cut, they will, because it's going to get them to the result faster. It doesn't matter if the corner is square. If they can round the corners, they're going to do it. This person also feels things very strongly, and they feel them very quickly. And so if they're angry, most of the time it's going to come out of their mouth, and it's going to show up before they even have time to think about it. So they're sometimes going to seem really bold and really sometimes offensive, because my husband is one of these, and he also is a type E. But anyway, he'll get mad really fast about something, but then once it's out, it's over. And I can be still stuck in the, oh my goodness, what did I do that made him mad? And I can be worrying about it forever. And he's already forgotten and it's over. And so he forgives really quickly as well. If I do something that makes him mad, he'll let me know. And then it's over. It's done. He's past it. And that's awesome. But he's also learning, okay, I can think first before I speak, and that might help the situation. So anyway, they feel boldly, loudly, quickly, and then it's gone. Then they're moving on to the next thing, right? Type E is someone that lives in the past, again, but this is more in details and facts, like looking to the past, but they're motivated by improving things. So this is what happened in the past. How can I make it better next time? So maybe they've held an event, and it went pretty well, but they noticed the things that went wrong, and so next time they're going to work and build on that and improve it. And they're all about improving things all the time. They can look at a situation, and they can see where it can be made better. And that's always what they're focusing on. So if you have somebody that seems like they're never satisfied, they may be a type E. And it isn't that they're not satisfied, they just can see how it can be better next time. They're kind of their own authority. Like, they know what they know, and they know it because they're willing to research things deeply. So if they have an opinion about something or a knowledge about something, you're not going to change their mind very quickly. This, again, is also my husband, and he'll read books over and over and over again, and he'll research them. That's why he's so good at what he does, because he knows that he knows, and nobody's going to sway him with their opinion. So type E is usually really black and white. It's either right or it's wrong. It's either it's good or it's bad. There's not a whole lot of gray area. With the type C, everything's gray. Everything is gray because it could be connected to this, this, this. But a type E is like, no, black and white. And they pay high attention to detail because that's what's going to make the improvement. That's what's going to perfect things. And perfecting isn't necessarily in the negative way, because making things better, there's nothing wrong with that. However, a type E can get stuck in perfectionism and feel like they're never good enough. And so if they feel like there's something they want to do and they don't feel like they can do it, quite often they won't start. So maybe you have somebody who loves a perfectly clean home, but they don't feel like they could ever have that because maybe they have kids or they don't have time or whatever, so they just won't ever clean their home. So they can be really, really messy and cluttered, but they really are a type E. They just don't feel like they have the ability to get it perfect, so why try? It's not worth the effort. So that's a type E, and they're more logical than emotional. So where a type C lives in the past emotionally, and I mean, a type C and a type E can seem really similar, but a type C is motivated, again, by emotion and sentimentality and all of that, when a type E is just motivated by the logic of it. And it goes really deep, and they can be really quiet and slow to speak and all that, but it's because they're processing the details, and the type C is processing the emotion. So that's the categories really quick. And I promise you that understanding this and figuring out who you are and seeing the gifts of that, to me, is what's turned me into a fountain and turning me into a fountain. I'm not perfect at it. I still have moments when I'm trying to catch other people's, I'm validating myself and looking for approval and wanting other people's water to fill my cup. But most of the time I can tap in and I can turn on my own fountain and be my own source. And knowing this has really been beneficial and so instrumental in my own journey of really being okay with who I am and then letting myself be that. And so I'm just so passionate about it. So anyway, we will visit this a lot, but this is just surface for now. So that's B for today. The next thing, does anybody have any questions before we move on? Heather, you want to unmute yourself?
Yes, it's actually a comment, but I wanted to thank you. I prayed for this morning. I did not realize until you put that slide up. I have some really strong personalities in my household, in my family. And some of them are E's, very, very strong E's. And so I've learned this behavior to communicate effectively with the E's in my life. I've had to learn that behavior. I've had to learn that way of thinking and communicating so that we can have effective family relationships. And I realized that I've been living my life and I've been building my business as an E because I thought it was better. Because I didn't think I could have the success I wanted being true to myself. And I am such a C. And thank you, because this is an answer to prayers today, so thank you.
You're welcome. And I hope that everyone else that's listening gets that, because that feeling you're having right now, Heather, I get it. I felt it so many times on so many levels. And that's an amazing feeling to have. It makes you cry. It brings out the emotion, and it can feel like a relief and almost feel like, why am I crying? So it can be kind of dysregulating for a minute. But the more you allow yourself to sit in it, and I love how you said, I've been living my life as an E. Mine was as an R, somebody who had to achieve all the time to prove my worth. And I have a lot of tendencies of all of the temperaments. I didn't as a C. I mean, I did. I processed everything as a C, but I refused to be that. And so I was trying to be someone else because I thought that was better. And my C-ness made it even worse, made it feel like I was really not worth it. I wasn't able to connect with people, and that's what I really wanted the most. And so when you can understand that, then you can see why you're motivated to do. And the actions can look the exact same. The actions can be the same. They can look the same. And I'll just say one more thing, and then we'll move on. Like I said, I can get really lost in this, but I feel like this is important. This was a comment that helped me to realize, oh my goodness, maybe I am a C. And it opened me up. So the question was, or actually as they were being explained, when they described the E, this is Dr. Slade who developed this theory, which I'm helping him to get it out there and to get it. There's going to be a website soon that helps people to understand it more. Anyway, he said, And E will often have, their closet will be color-coded. And I'm like, well, mine is. And he stopped and he's all, because I was like fighting the fact that I'm not motivated by comfort. I'm not. He said, but why? Why is your closet color-coded? And I said, well, because it's easier to find stuff. And he's like, yeah, it's more comfortable. I'm like, fine. And he said, and E would have it color-coded because that's the right way to do it. It's the best way to do it, period. It doesn't matter if it's easier. In fact, it's probably not going to be easier, but it's worth the extra effort, worth the extra time to make sure it's perfectly color-coded. All of the shirts are perfectly sitting on the hanger. They're all facing the right way. All the clothes are like turned right side out. I'm like, oh, that's not mine. Some of them are wrong side out, but they are color-coded because I can find them more easily. But I don't care if the hanger's turned opposite way. You know, it's just what's easiest for me. And it's comfortable. And I was like, oh. So it looked the same because you can go in my closet and it looks really nice. It's organized. All my closets are organized because it's easier for me to find stuff, not because it's necessarily the right way to do it. So I was like, okay, maybe this means something. And that was the beginning of me being open to my temperament type. And it's made all the difference for me. So again, if you want to know more, I do have the assessment, or you can just continue to sit through the calls as I get more deep in explanation, and you can, go from there. So for whatever that's worth. The next thing is openness. So what are we going to talk about with openness today? Openness is, I was listening to Susan Sly this morning, and she was talking about being organized, and she said, with anything that we do, it's not really about what we desire, because we all desire stuff, but how many of us desire things that we don't have and that feel like they're out of reach? Yeah? Heather's got her hand up. Me too. Yeah, Mona has her hand up. So she said it's not about desire. What it is, it's about the fear. It's about the fear. What's holding you from your desire? So I actually have a worksheet that I'm going to post in the group that I encourage you to do. This is a worksheet that a lot of people start and they don't finish, and it's getting all the way through the worksheet that's going to lead you to the power of it. But it actually leads you to what are you afraid of, and that's what's going to help you to know what your action steps are. So one of my mantras is I do something every day that scares me. And it's not just something I say, it's something I actually do, because I have realized that the things that scare me are the things that are holding me back from being who I want to be and having what I want to have. And by doing those things, I'm actually expanding my own comfort zone so I can be comfortable in a lot more areas than when I thought could I only be comfortable here, and I limited myself so much. So when I have something that I'm resisting, so fear, I used to think I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid. I'm the one that kills the spiders in my house. I'm the one that, will take a snake, and if I have a snake in my bathroom, I'm going to put it outside. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to go to a city that I've never been in before by myself and walk the streets and talk to people. I'm not afraid of that. I don't fear things outside of myself. Even things like, I don't really necessarily want to be in a place where there's a hurricane or a tornado, but I'm not afraid of that happening because I know that I can handle it. I know I can. So I'm not afraid of anything. And then when I started to realize that I'm afraid of almost everything that has to do with me, I'm afraid of myself. And it shows up in forms of resistance. Like if I say, I'm never going to do that, then, why am I saying that? Well, I'm afraid of it. It's a fear. It also shows up in the form of excuses. I'd love to do that, but I can't. So pay attention to what your excuses are. What are the things you're resisting? That's why, and I'm not private about it anymore because I put it on Facebook enough, that's why I tried pole dancing. Because it was something that I resisted really hugely. Somebody suggested, my coach, David Woods, suggested that I do pole dancing because I had questions about my own body and my own worth. How do I learn to love my body? He's all, go pole dancing. And I was so resistant to it, it made me angry that he said it. And after a whole year of being that resistant, I started having other people suggest the same thing. Like out of the blue, a woman came up to me and she's like, you know what I think? I think you should try pole dancing. I'm like, you don't even know who I am, really. It made me so mad. And then I started thinking, why am I mad about it? Well, let's figure out why I'm mad about it. Let's go enroll in a class. Okay, so I just finally learned that the things that I'm the most resistant to, first of all, I check them through my core values, because if they go against my core values, that's my resistance, and that's all I need to know. I'm not going to do it because it's against what I believe in. If it's not, though, then sure, I'm going to give it a try, and I'm going to do it every day because that's going to get me closer to what I want, because I found that the things I'm afraid of are the very door. They're the very answer. They're bringing me the answer to what it is that I lack to be able to have that. So if I'm needing confidence and connection with my body, and pole dancing is a way for me to do that, then it's an answer. And it seems like it makes no sense. Like it has nothing to do with my desires, but it actually has everything to do with it. Same with wearing my hair up. Same with wearing lipstick and doing selfies every day. All of that stuff seems so vain and so self-indulgent, but it hasn't been. It's actually been the very answer for me to be the person that I want to be. And so anything I'm resistant to, again, I check it through my core values. If it's not against my core values, then I do it. And sometimes I have to put them in a priority list, and sometimes I have to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. So it might not be a different thing every day, but every day I put my hair up, every day, until I could do it without feeling uncomfortable. I still don't love it, but I can do it. And actually, when I'm in a place where I'm feeling nervous or I'm feeling anxious, I put my hair up and I put on my darkest lipstick and I go. So if you ever see me like that, you know that I've got some kind of fear going on that I'm working past, because I know I can do it now. So it's like my anchor. It's like my thing that I do now to prove to me that I can. So pay attention to what those are, and that worksheet will help you to know what those are even more. And then it's going to help you to choose your action steps. So that's what's next, is intention. I'm going to set an intention. So I set an intention to find a class, a pole dancing class, and then I actually acted on it. I signed up for the class and I went to class. And I actually found that I really like it, so much so that I now own a pole. It's in my basement. And my family teases me about it, and I have to deal with that every day, but it's okay. So there we go. The next thing then is intention. So this is where our action steps are coming from. Hold on, I'm going to tell these people to come in. One sec. Sorry. This is the coolest thing ever. My son installs these security systems, and I can see who's at my door. Hey, you guys go ahead and come in. I'm doing a call, so.
The door's locked.
Is it locked? Darn it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to tell these guys to hold on for a sec while I unlock it. Hold on. Sorry, I'll be right back. I thought I unlocked it. Here you go. Anyway, sorry about that. I thought my son went out the front door, but he must have gone through the garage. All right, so this is where the Isagenix 90-day action plan comes in. That's what our intention to act will be. So first of all, how many of us made our list of 100 people, or at least started it from the homework last time? Awesome. Good. So now our intention for this week is connecting to those people, actually doing the action steps, actually picking up the phone to make those connections. And so I posted the page 12 from the action plan of the 4 steps to connecting. So using good form, which just means if you're needing help filling out this list, think of, who's in your family, all your family, and occupation. Who are people that you know that are fitness people? Who are people that are, in any occupation? So just go through a list. Who's a real estate agent? Who's a, blah, blah, blah. Who are those people that that are in these different occupations? Recreation. Who are people that that love to water ski? Who are people that that love to work out? Who do you know that loves to go camping? All of those different recreations. These will help you fill out your list. And then motivation. Who do you know that is motivated by different things? Who do you know that's motivated? First of all, that would be a really great person to have on your team. So I like to use this as a way to create my list, but it's also a way to connect with people. So if you're talking to someone, you meet someone, because David Wood at UIA, he's like, I have the secret solution to meeting people. Are you ready? Here it is. And then he has everyone lean in and he's like, hello. That's it. You smile and say hello. So you're like, but it's true. You smile at someone and you say hi, but now what? So you can start a conversation. You can ask them about their family. You can ask them what they do. What do they like to do for fun? What motivates them? What makes them happy? What is it that lights them up? Those are all conversation starters as well. So using form in both who to connect to and how to connect, I think that's a powerful at least the beginning point of teaching you how to be that natural connector. We are all made to connect. Do you guys realize that? Even our brains are set up that all the neurons in our brain have to connect in order to work. If there's a neuron that's alone, it's called apoptosis. It will die if it doesn't have the ability to connect with another neuron. It's the same with people. If we don't connect with people, we become depressed, we become anxious, we become sick. There's actually orphans. There's an orphanage in Russia, I believe. I think it was Russia, where they did a study. There were so many orphans and only a few adults that could manage it. So they would put them in their own cribs, and they made sure that every single one of them were fed every day, and they had their diapers changed every day, and that they had a blanket, you know, that kind of thing, but that's it. They didn't have time to talk to them. They didn't have to touch them. They didn't have time to play with them. They didn't have time to connect with them. And those babies grew up as deformed physically and mentally adults, and they were not able to function as normal human beings because they didn't have the ability to connect. They had all of their physical needs met, but connection, we are all made. So David Wood has you say over and over and over again at UAA, I was born to be a professional network marketer. You were, we all were. This is like our natural state. So being able to practice these things to get us through the resistance helps us to see that, oh my goodness, I love to connect with people and I'm good at it. All of us are. We might do it differently, but we're all connected. We're wired to be network marketers. So it's also, number one, is connection is only the first step. But if you're doing this as an income producing activity, the next step is to get their contact information. How can I talk to you again? I'd love to connect. I'd love to meet up. I'd love to continue our conversation. Can I get your phone number? Are you on Facebook? That's one of the easiest things nowadays. Let's connect on Facebook. And then you recontact that person, but your goal is to actually get a phone number so you can talk on the phone, at least, or meet somewhere and talk face to face. But to actually talk, it's a lost art with social media. And just to chat in instant messenger or whatever will take you a little ways, but if you want to go all the way, you need that phone number, okay? So taking it offline as fast as possible is going to get your results a lot quicker because you're all of a sudden a real person to that person instead of someone that just wants to sign them up for something, you know? So then you're going to set the appointment. You've connected, you've got the phone number, you've talked on the phone, set the appointment. And the keys to success are being quick, setting the appointment within 48 hours of actually creating a curiosity, remembering that you have something incredible to offer. You have a gift. You're not bugging them. You are creating a solution for them. And we'll get into that with our 30-second stories here in a little bit. And you're going to give them 2 appointment time options instead of, hey, you know, after you've watched this video, get back with me, and then leaving it wide open. They're not going to do it. And it's not necessarily because they don't want to. Life is busy. And adding one more thing, and, you know, either they forget or they're just like, oh, I want to, but I'm just so busy. But if you say, you know, let's connect tomorrow, is 4 or 6 better for you? And you let them choose. And then you're like, oh, 6, great, that's awesome. But make sure you know your calendar so that you're giving them the time that you can actually be available, instead of like, oh shoot, I told you 6, but that's actually my daughter's dance recital, you know, and then you have to call and cancel. So make sure you know your schedule before you create an appointment, and then you hold to that. If someone says 6 o'clock, you call them at 6 o'clock, maybe 5:59 even, just you're on it, okay? And then you're going to meet on the phone or in person with them and say, hey, if you have a friend, you know, this might be something that you'd enjoy doing together. That's such a brilliant idea. Kathy Cooper, one of her key tips to success is to get referrals. And what a great way to get a referral than having somebody invite their friend to do it with them. You know, this kind of program really works well if you have somebody to do it with. Why don't you invite a friend? You know, that kind of a thing. And then have fun. Be professional. Respect your own time and their time. Be professional about it, but have fun. Make it fun. Make yourself be someone that they want to hang out with, that they want to be connected to. And do it through your own temperament, right? Don't try to be David Wood. Don't try to be, you know, somebody that you know is a lot of fun, or don't try to be Susan Sly if that's not who you are. Be yourself, but do that professionally by respecting yourself, right? And them. Then number 4 is you're going to use a tool to share Isagenix. Isagenix has so many tools, and a lot of us spend a lot of time creating our own tools, thinking, I need to be Dave MacArthur, and Dave MacArthur loves to make amazing PowerPoints, So before I can be successful, I need to learn how to create amazing PowerPoints. I need to do these presentations that are so deep in the science that it's going to take me 5 years to start, but I'll do it eventually. That's not how it works. Dave does presentations and all that because that's what he loves. That's his motivation. That's him. It's not everyone else. So if that's not you, then, and before Dave created his own presentations, he did what Lenny did. I mean, he followed Lenny Evans. He just copied until he found out what he loved to do and then did that. But Isagenix has amazing tools that not only make it easy for you, but it makes you duplicatable. So if somebody's watching you, they're like, oh, all I have to do is share that video that's already created. It makes it easy instead of like, oh, shoot, I could never create that huge, amazing PowerPoint. So I'm just not going to do this. You know what I mean? So there's power in using the tools. And I'm not going against what Dave does. He's brilliant at what he does. And it's not necessarily duplicatable. So use the tools. So get familiar with the tools. Do you have the ISA Tools to Go app? Do you know where IsaSellsTools.com is? Do you know what's available there? Have you ever been to IsaMovie.com? Have you watched the movies that are on there? So that you know when you're talking to somebody and they're telling you how they used to work out and they've kind of lost that passion, but they really miss it. You can send them, you know, something about energy and performance, one of those videos from Team Isagenix to show that these products help you to do that and to be that. You know, you can send that because you know that movie's there. Otherwise, you're like, oh, shoot, well, I'll just send them this one that has nothing to do with anything that they're interested in. And then it's not going to connect with them, right? So get familiar with the tools and keep it simple because that's duplicatable again. Your new members are more likely to show interest in sharing Isagenix themselves when you share the solutions in a simple, duplicatable way. If it's too hard, people are too busy for hard. And then when they learn they love it, they'll make the hard their passion. But until then, show them easy. Because Isagenix really is easy. You blend the shake, you drink it, you feel amazing, and you tell people about it. And then you show them how to do it as well. I mean, that's basically it. So, I mean, you know. And then we personalize it, which is fun. Any questions about that or comments before we move on? Okay, so when you, from your list of 100 or however many you have, you're going to continue to add to that list of 100. And as you go through 5 people, that means you get to add 5 more people. Try to keep your list at 100 at all times. It's a challenge. Then how many people will you contact every day? Are you going to connect with 5 a day, 3 a day, 2 a day, 1 a day, 10 a day? You get to choose because you know how much time you have. Okay? So if 1 a day is all you can do, awesome, do that. It doesn't matter that you're not doing 10. Because that's not your life right now. Maybe it will be eventually, but 1 a day is great, but do that 1 and do it well and show up 100% in that 1 contact. And then who are you gonna contact first? Go and select it. And I'll just say, today I was doing Lori Harder's 14-day challenge, and she said 1 hard thing a day makes everything else easier. There's an I missing in my PowerPoint. And that's so true. That's why I say it, do something that scares me every day. Because once I do that, wow, I know I can do the rest of everything else. And it feels amazing. Do 1 hard thing a day and do it the first thing of the day and then it's over. You're done. You know, your first thing, do the hard thing. You don't have to, but it's a suggestion. But they just say the best way to eat an elephant is 1 day at a time. But you have to take a bite and you have to chew it and you have to swallow it, right? If you're going to actually eat it. So there you go. So that's one of the action steps for this week, okay? Next one is to create your 30-second story. Did anybody have a chance to look this up last week? I know there was a lot last week. All right, awesome. So is it Charlotte and Heather did? Who else raised their hand? Mona, awesome. Did anybody have a chance to write one, or have you done this before? Just out of curiosity? Yeah, awesome, good, Heather. And Mona, I see a lot of you nodding your heads. So this 30-second story, at first, I thought that's so dumb because I don't want to be scripted. I love to be authentic. I love to come from the real place, and if it's scripted, it's going to sound fake. And what I've learned is, once I submitted and I did it, I've learned that if somebody's telling me to do something, I have no right to say that it's not going to work until I tried it. And when I try it, I usually find the reason why they suggest it, and then I can personalize it once I've learned it. So the 30-second story is an awesome way for you to not talk too much, for you to not verbally vomit all over people, for you to not shut people down, for you to stop listening to what they're telling you because you're so worried about what you're going to say that you give them a weight loss solution when they're looking for energy, you know, or they're looking to gain weight and you give them weight loss, right? Because you're not listening to what they're saying. So when you have your 30-second story memorized, practice, you know it, you don't have to think about what you're going to say. You actually get to listen to people and you get to say, oh my goodness, they feel like they might be at the verge of a divorce because they need $200 a month. So I have a solution for that. I can share my 30-second story about how I earn $200 a month. Or if you're not at that point yet, that's okay, because there's somebody's story in Isagenix that you know that does make an extra income with it. And you can share their story until it becomes your own story. But having that story, so you could say, my friend Dave MacArthur and Carrie MacArthur, they earn, blah, 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 you know, they live this, they do it full time. However, you can create this story. Before Isagenix, Dave MacArthur and his wife worked probably 6 jobs together. They were stressed all the time. All they could do was work. They had 0 time for each other, for their family. They were introduced to Isagenix by Carl and Kathy Lamar, and they have now been using the products for 12 years. As a result, not only do they have energy to do the things they want to do, but they have the time freedom to do the things they want to do because they have an income that allows them to have, do, and be all the things they want to be. And they are so passionate about sharing Isagenix with everybody and helping them have that life because they know the difference. They shared it with me, and I love their story, and I want that for myself and for everyone else. Done. 30 seconds, you know? But it's because I was able to listen that I was able to share that story. So here's the template. You'll find it. I did post it in the group, but it's, you just find the key words. So before Isagenix, I was, and then you find 3 points to describe that. So before Isagenix, I was exhausted. I had 0 energy during the day. I wasn't able to sleep at night, and I couldn't play with my kids. That's it. 3 things to illustrate my point of being exhausted. I was introduced to Isagenix by, you give their name, stop. You can say, my friend Carl and Kathy, stop. You don't have to say, well, I wasn't really introduced by it. Like, I just found it, and then I Googled it, and then I called this person. They don't need to know about that. You just say, I was introduced to Isagenix by my good friend Carl and Kathy Lamar. I'm done. I've been on the products for, if it's only been 3 months, say 90 days. It sounds longer. But just how long have you been on the product? Stop. As a result, I am now. And then you talk about the opposite of the things in what you listed in step 1. As a result, I am now full of energy. I'm able to sleep through the night. I have the energy to do the things I want to do. And I not only play with my kids, but I play with my grandkids, right? And I feel amazing. And I believe that everybody has the right to feel this way. And I'm on a mission to share it. Done. So what you're going to do is you're going to find all the places in your life that Isagenix is blessed. Because if you only have one story, then it's harder for you to answer to be the solution for the person's problem. So look at your health. How has your health improved with Isagenix? How has your energy improved? How has your performance improved? Your strength, your weight loss. Have you had a weight loss story? If not, who do you know that has? Use their story. How has your attitude changed? I got my husband back in 3 days, and it didn't have to do with his weight. He just was like, do you feel that? And I was like, whoa, where'd you come from? And he hasn't stopped. He got his attitude completely back with Isagenix. And so have I, because it's just, wow, it's awesome, number 1, having a husband with a good attitude. So it helps my life a lot. And how has your wealth been changed? And if not, who's someone that you know that has? And write their story. So whose story inspires you if you don't have your own story yet? You will eventually have your own story in, if not all, most of these areas. And the longer you use Isagenix the way it's intended to be used. So any questions about that? Okay. So you're going to connect with people from your list, and you don't add to your list again. You're going to really connect. You're going to set an appointment. You're going to share a tool, right? You're going to get a phone number, then connect, and then share a tool. And then we'll talk about follow-up next time. You're going to have your 30-second story practiced so that you can have it ready to share when you hear their solution. So you don't have to worry about what you're going to say and get stuck in your head. You can actually just be prepared to share when it's time. But you can listen. That's the magic. Okay, so those are your action steps so far. Clearing. This is the next action step, and it's quick. But you're going to find a space and you're going to clear it. Again, in Susan Sly's thing I was listening to this morning, and it's just all stuff that I already teach and that I already understand, but I love using other people's words. She said that, where did I write it? Clutter is a manifestation of our mind. So if we have a space in our house that's cluttered, maybe our closet, it's a manifestation of what's going on in our mind. So if we allow ourselves to clear out a junk drawer, maybe, if that's the only place that's cluttered in your house, or maybe I have piles in my office a lot. I go through my piles and clear those up. I feel so much better, and I'm creating space for success and for whatever else. So find a place in your home or in your life, maybe it's your car, that is cluttered, and clear that this week. And I would love for you to take pictures and share with me. And I'm just share you, this is my friend Sonia. She called me, was asking for help for coaching, and we got talking. And the thing that kept coming back was how I used to be so organized, and now my house is a mess. My life is a mess. And so I said, Sonia, it sounds to me like you need to start by clearing your office. And she spent months actually doing it. And she said, you will never know. She was struggling actually to pay rent. She's a single mom, was really struggling in that area. Really wanted to be successful in isogenics, and was. Like, she could call people, she could sell a 90, she sold so many president packs all the time, and she still was struggling in her business, struggling to pay rent, struggling to support her family. So we started her with clearing her office. She's like, I have rent due in 2 days and I don't know what to do. She started through there. She started opening envelopes, and she found money that people had sent for her birthday that she had just set in there because she didn't have time to open it. So it had been in there for months. She opened it. She found enough money in her office to pay her rent. It's crazy, but it's true. So there also might be stuff that you're holding on to that you might use someday that you could actually either sell at a yard sale or on eBay or on Facebook. Or in my preferred way to do it, you might have stuff that you're holding on to that's causing chaos in your mind because it's in your space. I love to donate it. I love to create, to bless somebody else's life, and it creates space for however what I'm needing is going to come to me. I did this once with my closet. I've been wearing the same clothes for 10 years. I hated them, really. I didn't feel like I looked good in them. They were old, but they were what I had. And I was listening to Bob Proctor, and he's all, if you want new clothes, get rid of the old ones that you don't want anymore. So I kept enough to keep myself covered, and I got rid of everything else, and I just donated it all, or if it was terrible, I threw it away, actually. And it was not long until I was able to go to the store with my Isogenics card and purchase a new wardrobe. I wish I remembered how long it was, but it was within a month or two, and that was it. And it was amazing to me because that is something I had never been able to do before, ever. I'd been 22 years of marriage at that time. So amazing. So clear a space and watch the magic that happens. And the other thing that I'll just mention that Susan Slice said is that we talked last time how everybody wants to help other people. Everyone does. And so sometimes we're looking at all the ways that I would love to be able to just go pay somebody's rent at Christmas time so they don't have to. And then we get stuck in that, but I don't have the ability to do that right now. So I'm just failing at my life because I can't pay someone else's rent. Why don't we give what we have, and eventually what we have will increase, but you might have extra things in your house that you're holding on to. So if you can go through your stuff, somebody needs what you don't use, and you go and donate that and bless their life, you are helping people within your means. You are doing everything that you can to bless other people's lives, and you're clearing a space for you to expand what you have. Does that make sense? I thought it was beautiful the way that Susan Slay articulated that. So helping people within your means is amazing. Finally, so that's clearing, and that's a challenge that I'm just going to put out there as an action step for you to just clear a space. Do it every week. She said, if you don't feel like you have time to clear out a whole closet, start with 5 things. 5 things. Just do 5 things every day, or 5 things once a week if that's all you have. The last thing is expression. So this is where we get to put our intentions into action. We get to express it. And so Susan Sly said, honestly, it's all about showing up. That's it. It's not about being perfect. It's not about starting with more than you're able to do. It's not about anything else but showing up. That's it. So being accountable is a huge part of, for me at least. That's why I do my videos a lot of times out loud, because if I'm telling somebody I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, right? So find someone to be accountable with that you can motivate each other and have to report back to. Someone in this group, someone outside of this group. But has anybody done that? Because I kind of mentioned it last time, but it was like last minute. So Heather does, Mona does. Okay, if not, find one. And then I just am going to ask this question. Is anybody here willing to do 3-way calls? I'm actually going to put a post, so we don't have to talk about that right now. Heather is. I'll put a post in the group that just asks you if you're willing. If you are, comment. Okay. Charlotte is. Put in there, and then maybe put what you feel comfortable talking about. So if somebody maybe wants to do a 3-way call about weight loss and you feel like that's something you could talk about, or about the shakes in general, or about, just validating. You don't have to be a top leader. You don't have to be 100% perfect in the area, but if you have a testimony or a belief in something, then you can put that. I could do a 3-way call about products. I could do it about the shake. I could do it about cleanse. I could do it about the business, whatever. That way you guys can connect with each other and know who you can rely on for 3-way calls. And we will do how to do 3-way calls on one of these calls. Dave's put up a template on how to do that. That's really helpful. Then you're going to develop a 30-second story in each area of your life that Isagenix is blessed. And then I want you to video yourself you need to practice your 30-second story so that you actually can use it, right? So what better way to practice than to video yourself doing it? And when you have a video that you feel good about, post it in the group. And I'm challenging you guys to do that this week. You can do all of them if you want, or you can do your favorite one, whatever. Just post a video of yourself doing your 30-second story for this group. It doesn't have to be anybody else but this group. And then I would love for you to post a photo of any cleared space that you've created. So those are your challenges for the week. I will post them above the recording of this video, so that you don't have to write them down now, but you can. But those are your action steps. That's your expression. Let's see, there was one more thing I wanted to share. Oh, gratitude. Gratitude is always a way to express. It's always also a way for us to get ourselves into that state, to be ready to get to our value. If I have my I am statements and I'm not fully believing them yet, so even when I say them, I'm not feeling 100% that, and so I don't feel like I'm able to do my 3-way calls because I'm feeling a little bit sorry for myself or a little bit less than. Going to gratitude is a way for you to augment the rest of that and to be able to feel amazing. And so last week, Heather had asked the question, and we've actually talked about this since then, that got me deeper into it. But if you're feeling like you are in a place where, you're stuck in being able to provide for yourself or your family or whatever, if you're feeling like I've got to be here, so how can I be here? Or if you're feeling a disconnect at all with what you are wanting and what you have, and it's just making you feel yucky inside, for lack of a better word, go to gratitude. So first, have you ever really gone a whole day without eating? Or maybe you have on purpose, or maybe it's been a day, but have you ever had to really make your kids go hungry? Or have you really been so hungry, and that you don't have any way to eat? Have you ever lived on the street, or do you have a roof over your head? All of those things of realizing what we do have and being grateful for what we have and being able to really be a good steward, a wise steward of what we have now. So being able to live within the budget that we've been given right now and to be grateful for that opens up, first of all, it helps me feel good about my life right now. It puts me in a state of happiness right away, because I'm like, wow, I really am blessed, So going to gratitude is such a great place. And gratitude will either help you to see what you have, or it will motivate you to move forward toward what it is that you want, or both. And usually for me, it's both. Like, wow, I'm so blessed. This is amazing. And I know that what I'm looking for is waiting for me, and I'm so grateful for that as well. And then it just gets me going. So going to gratitude is always a great way to get to state to really be able to express your voice. So with that, are there any other questions or comments that we want to make before we sign off? Hi, Lisa. I'm seeing your face now. Yay. Hi. All right. Let me make sure I'm seeing everyone. Okay. I don't see any questions. I don't see any hands raised. So we'll just go ahead and say goodbye for now. Lisa, is your hand up? I see this little electronic hand. If it is, unmute yourself.
It was for the three-way calls.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, no, that I'm more than willing to help out with that.
Fantastic. Awesome. So cool. We've heard it spoken, but also if you'll post that in the post, comment in the post, that'll make it available for everyone that's not on the call right now. Thank you. Thank you. All right. You guys have fun with this week. Okay. This is meant to be fun. That's the last thing. Just make everything that you do fun, but make it your kind of fun, not somebody else's kind of fun, right? It's fun. I used to always say, I'll never be good at this because I'm not fun. And people don't want to be with me. But what I've realized is that I'm a lot of fun in my own way, and I can be a lot of fun, and I don't have to do it the way David Wood does it. I don't have to do it the way that my brother does it. I can be fun in my own way. So make it fun for you every day, and that's also a place to be. It's a magical place to be. So anyway, bye. See you guys next week. I'll see you on the in the group too with all your comments. You guys are amazing. Bye. Let's see. Wait. Stop share. I guess I can do all this without commentary one day, but for now you get to hear all of my stop recording. Bye.